What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be taking a look at a title called Mortal Sin. This is a game that's pretty good, actually. I've played it for the last couple hours. The main thing is the game is just shockingly, atrociously ugly to my eye. That's really my main complaint about it. Other than that, I think it more or less perfectly captures the exact same thing that makes something like Slasher's Keep a lot of fun. This is a permadeath game. I don't know, it rests somewhere in between action RPG and roguelike. I guess you'd call it a roguelite in that regard because it's not turn-based, because we're going by the Berlin definition on this channel because we have standards. But anyways, Mortal Sin is a dungeon-crawling action RPG that is burdened with a very, very bad art style, but otherwise really, really good gameplay. That makes this episode a really complicated one for me because I want to sit here and I want to harp on like how this game looks like nonstop, because it feels like this game treats me like my retinas are an active threat that need to be annihilated, but the gameplay is just so good. And so this is a very, very, very rare time on the channel where, like, I can say that some games don't have the best graphics, you know, like ASCII games and things like that. But with Mortal Sin, it, in my opinion, is just a really, really hideous game that also has really awesome gameplay. And so this is a weird one for me. I think in like my 10-year career, I've never hit a game that I was quite as polarized with, where on one hand I want to be like, I don't want to play it, my eyeballs hurt. It feels like I'm scrubbing my oculars with a deep fried meme. And then the other part of me though is like, wow, this is really responsive. This feels really good. If I could see what I was doing, man, this action is awesome. And so I'm going to dive on in for about 25 or 30 minutes, and we'll play the game, and you can decide for yourself whether or not you do or do not like the art style. This game is cruising at almost 100% positive reviews on Steam right now. So that's something to keep in mind, is that apparently the general public flatly disagrees with me. I'm okay with being wrong. Like I said, this game has really excessively good gameplay. So let's dive on in. I've got an alternate color palette here. I don't know which one hurts your eyes less. You can kind of pick and choose between the two. We'll go with the default for right now. At the beginning of the game, there are a ton of classes. I have not unlocked them all. I'm only level 4 right now. I've unlocked like 3 or 4 metagame mechanics, and I've unlocked like 2 classes in the couple of runs that I've done. And so we will play the Paladin this time around. I love Paladins. I'm going to play a Paladin. All those bodies you have climbed, their shadows imprint upon your soul. The relentless pursuit of your own ambitions, but at what cost? You are but a hollow shell. Can you bear this burden? Yeah, so in this game, you're a guy that went to, I think you're like in hell or like purgatory or something, and you have to like prove your valor in order to get out of here. It's basically your own personal kind of hell where you fight and you die and you destroy over and over and over again, and you kind of do it and do it and do it until you've appeased whatever deities decided that we're a giant piece of turd and that we deserve this punishment. This is what the game world looks like. It'll remind you of something called like Betrayer. I think was another game that kind of used this graphical tile set. This is not what your game is going to look like by default. When you start out, it's going to have like a ton of visual filters on it. I spent a whole bunch of time before recording this video fiddling around with meters over here to get it to, in my opinion, the most visually palatable way that I could show it off to all of you. But we're pretty much left here in town with a lady named Helena. She will only talk to you about things that you are, you know, you have to make it further and further on into the game, and she'll kind of like reveal who she is and like what she's doing here. This is a game that kind of leans on sort of that Dark Souls-y idea of like you don't really know what's going on. This is the crafting anvil. Every time I click on it, it makes 3 sets of things that I can pick between. This game does have different... It does have different grades of gear going from white all the way up to like legendary. And so I'll probably go with like Regenerator. Regenerate your health every few seconds after taking damage. Only applies at half health or less. Consumes high durability when you regenerate. A Soulful Morning Star of Brutality. And we have an Enchanted Scepter of Haste. I'm going to take the Scepter of Haste. It's a little bit slow for me. I don't love how slow that hits. but it does come with a shield, which is nice for blocking. And it does come with an ability called Wave Blade, which means anytime I do a charged attack, from then on I shoot like death lasers out of my mace. And so you can play around with the dummy over here if you want to figure out like how the combat system works. This is a super slow weapon, so it's not going to feel quite as fluid as like a dagger or like boxing gloves. Or so that's right, this game has gloves that you can just punch people in the face with, and you get like Fist of the North Star style combos that are like this game has a bunch of combos. Like I can kick and then attack afterwards, and it means I bump them in the gut with my weapon. You can swing and then kick and then swing. You can swing and then do a kick. Like and you'll unlock more combos as you get further on into the game. I have trouble memorizing them all, but they do exist. This is the first dungeon right here. This is the dungeon, actually. It's just called the dungeon. There's a bad guy right there. He threw a fireball at me. This game does have full dismemberment of your foes. I'm going to block that right there real fast. I need to get on this dude. He's causing problems. And so those two guys are now down, and we're going to go ahead and grab this treasure chest right here, and we got the Armor of Vitality. We're going to go ahead and put that on. It's going to increase our health. At any time you want to know where your stats are at, you go to the tab menu, and it'll tell you where your defense is at, your speed is at, which is just your movement and attack speed, and where your luck is at, your health and your attack bonus. This is a game where this stuff is very, very, very linear, and so by the time you get like a couple of levels on into the game, you will be swinging very fast, you will be moving very fast, you will be attacking very fast, and the game gets much more fluidity than what you're seeing right here. I sort of picked up a bad weapon as my starter weapon. It's a little bit heavy. Go ahead and break some of those crates right there. And we've got some breakables over here. I'm just going to bash those open. Every now and again, you may see red or blue wisps go into my character. The red and blue wisps are very, very simple. Yellow wisps are giving me money, which you can see in the top left-hand corner of the screen. That has various uses, and certain amounts of it persist in between runs for crafting purposes. You'll also see blue and red. With the blue and with the red fills up an Estus flask, and when it overflows, you get another health potion. And then blue does the same thing, but for repair potions. Those allow you to fix your character's gear, because all of your gear in this game has durability. So if you like an item, it's going to cost you to keep it, because the game kind of wants you to be swapping between things pretty frequently. We'll grab all that right there. We'll flick this on open. What are we up against? We got a mage over here. I'm going to block that and then bash his head in. Down he goes. That guy's also going to cast at me. I'm going to heavy bash him, and down he goes. He's been eliminated. I'm hoping we pick up like some daggers or like some swords so I can show you some faster gameplay too, because this to me feels like a weapon that you use in the late game once you've got like a lot of speed stacked up, so that you're getting heavier hits out, but with a time cost that's not quite so aggressive. On every floor we have a goal. That goal is to step on all of the pentagrams. Once you step on all the pentagrams, a door will open that takes you down to a lower level. I think there's 5 here, and then there's different difficulties too. There's like A1 through 5, B1 through 5, C1 through 5. You unlock other dungeons. You're also going to get unlockables a la something like the Binding of Isaac, so we can get upgraded health over here. We can deal more damage with spells. Our damage can be increased by the amount of luck that we have. That's not too terrible. I'll probably just take the HP right there because that feels pretty good. We also have a special ability called the Holy Spirit. Successful blocks will trigger a magical shield spell that pierces through enemies. So there you go. A few other fun things to play around with too. I'm going to drink one of my repair potions real fast so I can pick that one up before I forget about it. That enemy has seen us. My attack was a little bit too slow, but that's okay. Go ahead and break off that spinning attack right there. Alright, so we've got a Armor of Vitality. I'm just going to take money for that. All of the items in this game can be instantaneously converted into money. We have ourselves a Longsword of Power here. I will take the Longsword of Power because I wanted to show you guys what a little bit faster of a weapon would look like. There we go. We'll block that, and we'll get up in here, and there you can really feel it with the sword in the early game. Some of the weapons require you to be like further on into the game before you're going to really start to feel what makes them awesome and makes them feel tactile. So keep that in mind. The weapon that we started out with is not necessarily probably the first weapon I should have showed you, because it's kind of like a late game bloomer depending on how you've stacked your stats. Oh, there's enemies. Okay. All right. Enemy attacks do affect one another, by the way. So if an enemy throws a fireball and it hits an enemy before it gets to you. It will deal damage to the enemy that it struck. There's not any infighting from what I've seen so far. So, like, you won't see one enemy get tagged by another enemy's ranged attack and then get pissed off about it and forget about you and only attack the enemy. But it does deal damage, so something to keep in mind. Very nice. Perfect. I tend to like the longswords in the early game. That's just me. I think the longsword does great. On this level, it's not going to leave until we kill 8 mobs. So let's go ahead and get that done. Big, solid sweeps right there. Love the fact that everything in this game kind of sweeps. That's a really nice thing. We've got the Guillotine of Vitality, which appears to be a pair of boots, I guess? I don't know. I don't know why they're called guillotines. Maybe they have blades on the toes or something, but they've increased our speed by 11, and they've given us 13 health, which is pretty good. That's giving us a 5% attack speed increase. You can see the conversion right here, and it's giving us 5% movement speed. On my last run, I had this number up to like a huge amount because I was focusing on speed items, and dude, the power fantasy. I was just cruising through, just annihilating everything, dude. And that's what I mean, is like, this game is just offensive to my eyes. I don't like the way it looks at all stylistically. It's not my choice of a game that I would play visually, but the gameplay is just so good. It feels so nice. It's so well designed, and it's kind of like intricate. Like, I know it looks hack and slashy from your direction, but it's actually not. Now, every now and again, they're going to give you... This right here is a curse. If you take a curse, you get that bonus for the rest of the game. You've got to beat this entire game in one playthrough, by the way. Otherwise, you restart. But this right here will increase the level of all of our item drops. And whenever we use a wizard oil, which is the blue potion, it will give us 16% more durability. However, every time we press a floor plate, all of the enemies respawn. That doesn't seem that bad right now, but I can tell you when you get to the later dungeons and rooms can have like 12 guys inside of them, that's really, really, really rough to deal with. I took it on my last run, and like the first 2 dungeons, I was like, dude, this is like easy peasy. And then I got to like the final crescendo of the second dungeon, dude, and there was like enemies respawning everywhere, and like they were constantly behind me. I was having so much trouble establishing like safe zone. Ow. How dare you? Go to the spike trap. Oh boy, there's a lot of you in here, huh? Alright. Apparently, I need to go back to Helena for my reward. Oh, that guy got ground up. Gross. Just keep swinging. Dismemberment does matter in this game. So if you cut off their heads, the enemy can't see you, and they just walk around swinging randomly, which is great for friendly fire. You cut off their arms. They can't attack with that arm. This is especially strong against enemies that have like a halberd or enemies that have like a two-handed sword. Once you cut off an arm, they can't use it anymore, and then they just run around trying to kick you. There are reasons to dismantle people, and then on top of that, there's secondary reasons to dismantle people. I will take those gloves. We've got an icy longsword of brutality. Successful blocks will freeze your attacker. It consumes durability use. We lose a little bit of damage right there, but we get like a cool special ability. So I think I'm going to take it. Let me get a little bit more cash right there, too. All right. In we go to defeat the enemy. There's secondary effects. I was trying to think what I was talking about. There are secondary effects. So sometimes you will get abilities that will do things like if you hit an enemy in the arm, a bunch of magic knives. These are just examples. I don't know if this actually exists. But like, I'm trying to think about the things that I've seen before. I had one that did a frost nova whenever I cut off somebody's leg. So from then on, I was aiming at the floor, swinging at people's legs, because the frost nova was freezing all the enemies around me as I was going and making all my fights way easier. And so like, things like that, it actually like matters. And if enemies don't have legs, you can't cut off their legs. I know that seems obvious, but yeah, I'll take a helmet that gives me a health bonus. They do have, so one of the big secrets to game design when it comes to a melee fighter like this is to make the weapons hit further than they look like there's the Frost Nova right there, in case you were wondering what that looked like. Make the weapons hit further than they look like they hit. That's one of those things that Vermintide figured out. One of the first games to figure that out very, very well. was Vermintide. You'll notice that everything in Vermintide, if you look at it, everything kind of has like an extended reach to it. This game has also figured that secret out for making your melee damage feel good. I played another game recently where the swing felt really, really low on everything. So like the sword swung and didn't go as far as it looked on screen. Felt terrible. Just utterly ruined the game for me. And so good job to the developer in realizing that it's better to overemphasize the range of a weapon than underemphasize the range of a weapon. Let's go ahead and grab that right there. It's just a crappy helmet. We'll sell it on the spot. These eyeballs don't do anything from what I've seen so far. I wouldn't worry about them. I was kind of worried about them the first time that I played through. But, like, meh, not that big of a deal. I would like the luck and the attack, but I'm going to sell those. I'm going to try to fish around for everything. All right, down and away we go. Another floor defeated. We've got pick-upables. I guess I'll just chug that right now. I just realized I haven't used my paladin ability, like, yet. And we've got another bonus right here. We can take Savagery, your punches and your bashes, which is on your shift key right there. Different weapons have a different bash. My favorite one is on the two-handed claymore. It causes you to, like, charge forward and throw an elbow, then throw an elbow. And it, like, knocks everything back all around you. It really makes you feel like a big bruiser badass that's just, like, mashing his way through the battlefield. That increases the damage on our power strikes and whirlwind. I'll just take the health, man. I'm not a big gambler. I'm kind of hack and slashy when I play games like this. Yeah, I'll take another 10% health, sure. Absolutely. The traps will probably pick off most of these guys for us. Yeah, I was going to say, if we hide behind a trap, we should be good here. It's just going to murder them all. That's a thing that happens from time to time with the level layout. We've got a berserking Morning Star. It hits like a truck, and it's quite a bit faster than the Morning Star we already have. Yeah, you can feel it getting a little bit quicker. It's not quite there, but it is trying to get there. Ooh, that almost got me. Yep, not going to let that happen. You go to sleep. Stop it. All right, so we'll step on both of those since they're in the same room. We have a concussive Morning Star over here. Power strikes and bashes will stun all nearby enemies, but it consumes your durability. Probably just sell it. The whirlwind's more helpful because, like, being invulnerable while you whirlwind is actually, like, huge. Like, that's a really, really good perk to have on a weapon. Oh, that's a booby trap. Let's get away from it. Every now and again, you're going to see one of those spawn. You don't want to stand in it, I promise. If you stand in it, once the spell effect ends, it's not going to feel super good for you. You're going to have a bad time. We haven't been getting hit a lot on this run, but things do a lot of damage in this game. This is not a forgiving title. They give you lots of healing potions, and they give you lots of restoratives, but if you get dinked in the face like 3 times a row, your run is over. Like, that's 100% of your health gone. Enemies have more movement and attack speed, plus 2 item levels, and we get more potion recovery. I'll take that one. Sure, throw that one on there. All right. If we got faster enemies, I need a faster weapon, though. If we jump down here, that's going to take us to the final confrontation with this big-ass demon guy down here who has been frozen, so we're going to want to get some damage off on him real quick. I'm mostly watching his attacks because his are the most dangerous. Yeah, go ahead and give me a magic shield, I guess. Perfect. Bash him back. I don't know if he's going to swing again. Right? Oh, there's so many enemies around. Okay, you go down. I love that you can even dismember the bosses. Oh, did you see us cut his head off right there after his leg came off? That was almost cinematic, dude. Like, he went down on one knee, and then we took his head off with the next swing, man. That had, like, Conan the Barbarian vibes. We've got an Icy Morning Star of Vitality. I love that ability that freezes enemies when you block them. I just think it's great. I just think it's neat. I like it a lot. Let's go ahead and drink that real quick. And then we've got another little treasure chest over here. What you got for me? Man, it really wants me to have Morning Stars. It is excited about the prospect of giving me Morning Stars. It's kind of a bummer because I tend to prefer the claws, the longsword, and the two-handed sword. But this is the end of the level, so we beat Dungeon A. Now we get to get a bunch of loot. Like, they literally just give you a loot room, just like you would get in D&D or whatever at the end of your run. I'm just going to, like, if it has a lot of... Wow, these are really high-level items. These are really good. Armor of Haste, take half damage, but it consumes high durability. I would stay away from that ability. So that ability is high risk, high reward. If you don't get hit very often, that's a really good ability. Taking half damage, but the damage goes to your armor's durability instead. It's really, really good if you don't take damage very often. If you take damage frequently, it just means that you're going to break your gear really, really fast. And so after we finish a level, it's going to teleport us back on into the church. And so we are back in the hub area now. We can come talk to her because we completed a quest. So there it is. And so we can max our passive skill out. And so we can take Vitality. We will have double health. We can take Armor Mastery. Our armor gets double durability and we get higher quality drops. Or we could double our defense. I'm going to take the durability right there because I just hate breaking my items. So that sounds good. That's why you want to do Helena's quests. Plus, whenever you complete her quests, I think it fills up this thing right here, and you get new conversations where you can talk about what's happening in this realm. I unlocked one of them on one of my recent runs, but I haven't done it on this run just yet. This is where the game's going to get a little bit confusing. It doesn't tell you exactly where you're supposed to go. There are multiple dungeons. It took me a second to figure out you got to jump down this hole for the second dungeon. I wandered around for a good 10 minutes before I realized it. We also have this shrine over here, where for a lot of money we can increase our baseline attributes. I think it's a really good idea to do that. Like, this is pretty much what I spend all my money on. I farm as much as I can in order to get it going. Let's go ahead and we'll jump on down on in the hole, and we'll do yet. Actually, I can craft some weapons. What you got? Got anything good? We've got some iron gauntlets of brutality. Those are pretty good. We lose a little bit of speed, but we get a lot of attack. We've got a chest piece over here. Gives us a lot of attack and a lot of speed. We regenerate health at half health or lower, but it drains this thing's durability when we heal. We've also got shielding boots of power, which give us a lot of speed. I'm going to take it. I want the speed. Oh, you can feel it, dude. Yup, 22% attack speed. Hold on, break out the Morning Star. Okay, that's starting to feel a little bit better. It's starting to get there. I think we're going to need like 50 or 60 attack speed to really get that Morning Star to the attack speed that I tend to prefer when I play action RPGs. I like to zoom, and I like to hit hard, and I like to be fast. Lose a lot of defense on that one. Would rather not. I don't think we can break the coffins. These guys right here, the enemies are sometimes a little bit of repeats. So, like, to me, the zombies appear on, like, every single level that I've seen so far. However, the supplementary enemies on the in-between change, and they all come back. So, like, all the stuff we saw on previous floors is going to be here. But the new addition is these, like, little satyr guys, I guess. The little satyr demons, what they do... Oh, that's a trap. I was like, what is that? It's a trap that was pointed at me. The little satyr demons, they don't really attack very much, but they try to hang out in the backfield. And what they do is they summon zombies. And so you can end up really overwhelmed in this game if you don't knock off the satyrs quickly. 16 speed right there, but we'll lose the 14. We'll get a bunch of defense, but nah. I don't think there was anything else around here. Oh, no, I missed a couple chests. Okay. I don't know if I'm getting the money back that I'm spending on these chests, but, you know, that's kind of life. If you don't know where to go to find the exit gate, it gives you like a little red line on the floor that shows you where to go. I'm going to use one of these to heal that up real fast and fix all my gear because we're about to get freebies. A lot of zombies waiting on us in here. Love the enemy density in this game. In fact, my favorite floors are the ones that's a poison pile right there, by the way. That's a new addition in the second level, is the poison piles. Watch out for those. I don't know exactly what I'm looking at here, but I think the trap will probably get him. This guy's a modified enemy right here. So what you need to be worried about with him is that he's got some kind of mod on him. So occasionally, yeah, he gets a magic shield. Okay. Yep, push him back into the trap. That's good. Kick him back into the trap maybe a little bit. Oh, he tried to kick me too. The good news is when he dies, he's going to drop a treasure chest. So there's a little bit more health right there. Some okay boots with 32 speed on them. I would like it to show the subtotals, too, like adding all the bonuses together. Oh, nice. That's a much nicer longsword. Good. Okay, I'll take that. I like the longsword. The longsword and the gloves are my 2 favorite weapons, so I'll take them. Don't really want you. Oh, we quick now. Yeah, there we go. That gives us 10% more health, too. Very nice. That thing's going to shoot bullets at us, so it needs to die. Dead guy over here with another enchanted longsword. The game does a good job of constantly shoveling gear at you that makes you think about whether or not it's worth it, too, which I think is good. There's nothing worse than an action RPG with bad item density, or even worse, bad itemization. If you want a perfect example of that, go look at Diablo 4. And, like, Blizzard is going to have to 100% completely redesign the entire stat system and the entire item system in order to fix that game. Like, that's how bad it is, and how bad their fixes are, and how terrible everything works. Ooh, poison pile. I need out. All right, let's heal. Loot the dead guy. Loot there. Morning Star of Brutality. Probably just sell it for the cash. Open you up. Sell it for the cash. Sell it for the cash. I do want to check that guy, but wow, 2 traps on 1 dead body, man. Game's creeping on me. Hey, more damage is more damage. I'll take it. Perfect. Get that head off right there. I think we may have a, oh my god, I think we may have a satyr back here that's just conjuring little zombies and things that want to take us out. That's kind of better than what we have. We are immune to scares. All right. Spoiler alert, I'm not going to tell you what scares are, but I know what scares are. It's more fun if you discover the scares for yourself. I feel like I'm ruining a big surprise for a new player by telling you what the scares are, so I'm not going to. You'll figure it out pretty fast anyways. You'll probably figure it out within the first 10 minutes of playing. Let's keep ducking past all these swinging blade traps here. And I'll probably fix my stuff. Regenerate your skills. Spend gold essence and get new skill selections. We seem to be leaning into speed pretty hard here. I'm probably going to take the 10% speed. I've played a lot of action RPGs in my life, and I'm a real believer in stacking attack speed. Sincerely. Like, I'll focus on getting attack speed over, like, everything else. You don't really have to block a whole lot in this game because this game has a structure to it. I don't know if you've noticed that structure yet, but there is a structure here. So enemies that are already winding up an attack, you can't really interrupt them as far as I can tell, unless you bash very quickly. But enemies are permanently stun-lockable so long as you are hitting them before they begin that animation, which actually makes a very, very interesting risk versus reward with this game's attack system, where it sort of subconsciously encourages you to be, like, hyper-aggressive, I guess, like when going after enemies, because if you can hit them first, you can kind of like stun lock them down. Now, it doesn't always work that way in actuality. In theory, that's a really good plan, but a lot of the time what'll happen is the room is set up in kind of like a Tricksy Hobbit's way, where there will be surrounding hidden enemies and little monster closets and stuff, and they will kind of attack you along your flanks while you're charging in to try to establish that first hit, which is, I think, a pretty cool conflict to have to revolve around or to resolve in your gameplay. I think it's an interesting idea. Does that open? Sometimes these open when you walk past them and you get free stuff. Little satyr, I'm gonna kill you right now, not gonna kill you later. I couldn't think of something that rhymed right there, so I had to stall. Let's see, a recharging longsword. You get more wizard oil when you kill enemies. I mean, damage is damage, man. Oh, God. Okay. Hey, what's up, pal? How you doing? By the way, your blocks in this game are 360. I know it looks like I'm only blocking forwards. I can block this way if there's somebody behind me trying to hit me, and it still blocks. I don't know if the game gives you, like, a visual warning that that's about to happen. You go away. Stop it. Get out of here. All right, so we've opened up the next floor. Vengeful Armor of Vitality. What a great suit of armor. I'll take it. I want all the speed in the world. Oh, we're getting there with the mace now, dude. The mace is getting to that point. All right, let's go down the hole, and we'll see how the mace does on the next floor. The only thing I don't like about the mace is that it doesn't cleave, but we've got our attack speed about where we want it to go right now. So they want me to beat the level in 72 seconds, and then we'll get the next Helena blessing. Oh, it started before I opened the door? Ah! Okay, where are these guys at? 24 enemies I gotta kill. That's a lot of enemies. I guess we'll just kind of get after it. I'm just gonna start swinging, and if I get them all, I guess that I gets them all. We may have to fall back a little bit. It may become necessary for us to fall back a little tiny bit on the whirlwind here. It's hard to say. Ow, dude. I'm getting straight thugged on. I did get a block right there, though, which triggered my whirlwind attack and also froze a bunch of enemies. So that's going to help. It does give you an icon if you're being attacked, I think, from a direction you can't really see, which is that little goat skull that you saw on screen for a second. Oof. A lot of durability gone right there. Just grab that. Grab that. Yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah, sure, whatever. Let's go. I gotta fix my gear, too. Beat you up. Oof, we got a special enemy over here, and he's got a magic shield on him. That is superbly not so great, but it looks like we dismembered him, so we're all right here. Get that. I gotta find one button to step on. All right. Button has been stepped on. I don't know exactly where it is that I'm going right now. Oh, it's a locked room. Gotcha. I gotta kill everybody first. All right, now we gotta, like, speed demon our way out of here, I think. Oh, dude, where's the exit? Where's the exit? Where's the exit? Come on. Exit's over here. I like these little sub-objectives. In my opinion, they're good little sub-objectives. We got 12 seconds to find this door. Let's go. I think we're good. Man, we got the armor upgrade from Helena. That is if we survive this. I'm about to drink a bunch of durability potions. But yeah, this game is great. Like I said, its main sin is that it's horrifically ugly. Like, I think that if they, I mean, at least to me, that's purely subjective. Every time I say that, if you're seeing this game right now and you're like, it's beautiful, do you? I'm not insulting your taste. The customer is always right in matters of taste. For me, don't really like the graphics set very much. I find it hard to look at for long periods of time. However, I think it would have looked better if they had just gone with, like, a standard tile set with normal colors and then just, like, threw a pixel filter on it, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that probably would have been fine for stylization, but hey, different strokes for different folks, I suppose. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what is worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so that you don't have to. Today we're fooling around with a title that is called Mortal Sin, which I think, despite my reservations about how much it makes my eyes hurt, is a very, very good game. This is a good feeling roguelike. Go check it out. I will see you all next time. Thank you for hanging out. I'll be back tomorrow with something hot and fresh up off the indie skillet for you. Take care, and that's about all I got. Bye, folks.